Nightmare encounter. The hooded figure. The night was dark and foreboding, the moon hidden behind a thick shroud of ominous clouds. I gripped the steering wheel tightly, my knuckles turning white as I navigated the winding, desolate road that stretched out before me. The faint glow of my headlights pierced through the inky blackness, revealing nothing but an endless tunnel of trees. I had always been a bit uneasy about driving at night, but tonight was different. A sense of unease had settled in the pit of my stomach like a heavy stone. I tried to shake it off, telling myself it was just my imagination playing tricks on me. The road seemed to go on forever, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was driving deeper and deeper into the unknown. The radio crackled with static, and I quickly turned it off, the eerie silence only intensifying my unease. Suddenly I saw a figure up ahead, standing in the middle of the road. My heart leaped into my throat as I slammed on the brakes, the tires screeching in protest. The figure was dressed in tattered clothes, and their face was hidden beneath a hood. I rolled down my window cautiously and called out, "Hey, are you okay?" There was no response. The figure just stood there, unmoving, like a statue. Panic began to gnaw at the edges of my mind as I contemplated what to do next. Should I turn around and find another way? But what if this person needed help? What if they were injured or lost? With a shaky hand, I reached for my phone and dialed 911, my voice trembling as I explained the situation to the dispatcher. They assured me that help was on the way and told me to stay in my car. As I waited, the figure in the road seemed to grow closer, their hooded head turning slowly in my direction. I couldn't see their face, but I could feel their eyes on me, cold and unrelenting. My heart raced, and I locked the car doors, praying for the police to arrive soon. Minutes felt like hours as I sat there, my eyes fixed on the unmoving figure in the road. The darkness seemed to close in around me, and the oppressive silence was broken only by the occasional rustling of leaves in the wind. Finally, I saw the flashing lights of a police car approaching from behind. Relief washed over me as the officer got out of his car and approached the figure in the road. I watched anxiously as they exchanged words, but I couldn't hear what they were saying. The officer suddenly turned and motioned for me to come out of my car. I hesitated for a moment, but then cautiously stepped out onto the road. As I approached, I could see the fear in the officer's eyes. "Sir, I need you to back away slowly," he said, his voice trembling. I complied, taking a few steps back, my eyes never leaving the hooded figure. The officer unholstered his weapon and cautiously approached the figure, his voice shaking as he ordered them to show their face. The figure slowly raised their head, and my blood ran cold as their face was revealed. It was nothing more than a grotesque skeletal mask, with hollow eye sockets and a sinister grin carved into it. I gasped in horror, my mind unable to process what I was seeing. The officer took a step back, clearly unnerved by the macabre sight. The figure suddenly lunged at him with lightning speed, its bony fingers reaching out to grab him. There was a brief struggle, and then a gunshot rang out, shattering the silence of the night. I watched in horror as the officer fell to the ground, the hooded figure standing over him, its mask now splattered with blood. Panic overwhelmed me, and I turned and ran back to my car, fumbling for the keys. I started the engine and sped away from the nightmarish scene, my heart pounding in my chest. Tears streamed down my face as I drove, my mind racing with fear and confusion. What had I just witnessed? Who or what was that hooded figure? I couldn't make sense of it, and all I wanted was to put as much distance between myself and that nightmarish encounter as possible. I drove for what felt like an eternity, the road stretching out endlessly before me. The darkness seemed to cling to my car like a malevolent force, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being pursued. Finally, I saw the comforting glow of a gas station up ahead in Pullenden, my hands trembling as I parked the car. I stumbled inside, my breath coming in ragged gasps, and told the attendant what had happened. The police were called, and I gave them a statement, but I knew they wouldn't find any trace of the hooded figure. It was as if it had vanished into thin air. To this day, I can't forget that night. The memory of that grotesque mask haunting my dreams. I no longer drive at night, and I can't shake the feeling that something malevolent still lurks out there in the darkness, waiting for its next unsuspecting victim.